Hey, you guys thought we were gone, didn't you? We're still here. But I've been dropping the ball. I've been getting behind. Look at this. My hair's a mess. I'm getting behind with videos. I'm not showing you any how-tos. I'm not showing what's going on. Oh, it's been busy though. So we're going to get back to the videos. I'm sorry. Just been a lot going on right now. Been doing some home renovations and stuff like that, and just been so focused on other things, getting on my rides on the road, and I've just been busy, and I've been neglecting you guys. But let's show you what's happening and let's catch you up. So, obviously, the Pontiac. So what has changed on the Pontiac? You're probably looking at it, and those of you who've been following me, you're probably saying not much has changed, but it has. The frame that was underneath this car was bent in the back. So the owner brought us out another frame, and we bolted the body down to the other frame because it has no kink in it, because that's the best thing to do before we get carried away welding all these inner wheel tubs, outer wheel tubs, and quarter panels on. You want to have it sitting on a good straight frame. So now what Mike has been doing is, if you can see here, let me get this. This isn't going to make much sense to you, but this is part of the inner rocker on the inside of the left side of this Pontiac. You can't buy that shit, so you got to fabricate it and make it. So Mike has been making it up. It's going to be a little hard here. Car's not up in the air right now, obviously, but you can see what he's done. He's made it there. He's made it all the way along. See that? So this is the back of your rocker. Then there's an inner structure on these Pontiacs with like a U-channel in it. Then your outer rocker comes on and attaches to this rocker, and it all welds in together, and that makes it solid. And the reason they do that is these cars have an X-frame. So there's actually nothing. Most cars, the frame runs outside the frame rails. This car runs inside on the floorboards like an X. So there's no frame on the outer part of this car. So they do this for structural support, or else those doors and everything will be sagging all the time. You just have issues all the way around. So definitely a strength thing. So see, there's a lot of parts hidden in behind you never see that get worked on. So that's what's been going on at the Pontiac. Now this is a door off of the Cuda, the 68 Cuda. We didn't realize it, but the doors were rotten inside. Once I ended up getting all the weather stripping off, the door seals, oh my god, they were rotten. So I got to point that out to the customer when he comes, but what do you want me to do, right? You got to fix it, so Mike's also working on that too. Okay, the 59 Chevrolet pickup is up and running good and strong. A few things we got to do to it. We got a list. This is what we do sometimes when we're trying to, so we don't forget what we're doing, is we make ourselves a list out and we hang it up inside. Just check it off as you go along, because sometimes, just sometimes, you know, you overlook things. And even with a list you can overlook things. But there's the 59 Chevy pickup. Now we're going to clean it up at the end. Give it the good wash, the wax and all that. This truck will probably be leaving next week. I don't see any reason why it won't be. It runs and drives now. I'll get you a video of that a little later on, what's happening with it. But it's looking good. Remember, this vehicle just came into us for us to assemble it. We did not do the paint and body or anything like that. We've just been assembling it, getting it up and running. And of course, you remember, if you go back in my videos, we had a bad thing happen. He had a rod go right through the oil pan. Not our fault. It was the guys who built the engine didn't tighten any of the rod mains up. And of course we fired up, and how are we to know that, right? The engine's put together, the guy paid for it and put it in, and we fired up, and ba-boom, out she blows. But now she's, luckily he only had to replace the one rod, and they fixed up what they had to do. They machined up the crank, and it all got fixed up. So she's running like a dream, and no issues there. Okay, now over here, you've missed quite a bit, but I grinded off all the, when you're welding floors in a vehicle, sometimes you get the lag and the welds that come through underneath. So you remember I'd welded all the floors in the Mustang. Well, I went underneath, and I cleaned up everywhere where there might have been some welds coming through. Held my light up underneath there to make sure there was no pinholes, and I cleaned her all up, stripped her all right down, and I've texture sprayed her all. Look at that. She is sprayed up inside the wheel wells, like everywhere. Seam sealed, sprayed, done, finished. That is good. And obviously I've taken the differential out. I've taken the leaf springs out. Now, you know, a long time ago I had texture sprayed the front floors. I still got to do the back. I still got to do a little more seam sealing. Got to spray all in here. And if you remember, I've got all the front end on it. I've also, since you've seen it, I've got the, you know, all the control arms are on, the new control arms, got the coils in, got the new shocks in, got the strut rods in. I got new idler arms, new idler arm there, new inner tie rod ends. This is called your center steering link. We didn't change that, it was okay. Pitman arm was okay, but we did inner and outer tie rods on there. So that's all new. Shocks, like I said, are new. So you see it's all bolted together there. So what's happened to this car is I pulled the diff out of it. The owner said go through the diff, see what you think. Like just, you know, drain the fluid, pull the center section. Doesn't take long on an 8-inch. They're quite simple. You pull the axles back and you just pull the center section right out. It's not like a Chevy where you got to get the clips out, and horseshoe clips and all that. Ford's way easier. The bearing was wiped out on the pinion, and the axle bearings were, you know, obviously axle bearings, they're gone. So I had to order a set of those in. Got the leaf springs out, and the one set of leaf springs actually is split down the center. So I ordered leaf springs for it too. So not a big deal. We've got that stuff, you know, on the way, and we'll fix that all up, and then we'll get the diff all in there, cleaned up, painted. Again, like I say, he's not building a show car, so I'm just going to quickly blast the diff and just shoot some semi-gloss black on it and call it a day, and he's got a nice clean car, and there we are. So I'm also back on to the Camaro. So if you remember, this side was all done, and I was welding away over on this side, this quarter panel, and I had fitted, I had shown you guys. Now what's left on this quarter panel is I got to make this piece up here. No, I did not cut that off. It was already cut off when the car came, if you go back and look in the videos. So I got to finish welding the quarter down here where it welds to the back panel up underneath, if you can see it. I got it clamped. But I fit the trunk on here several times. What I did today was I took off the, where is it? There it is, the old tail light rear panel. I pulled it off because yeah, I spend more time fixing that than to put a new one in. So I got the new one here. But of course, with that being said, what happens is you take that panel off, and then you get into finding that the inner panel's got a little bit of rust, but very minor. Out of this thing, I'd say it's 20% got rust, 80% solid, so we can fix that up. So fix that all up, get that fixed up by tomorrow, get some rust proofing spray put in behind there, and then we'll start fitting this panel on, and when we fit this panel, we'll make sure we fit the trunk with it. That's what we'll do there. Excuse me. No, don't worry, I don't have COVID. Anyway, so that is what's happening around here at the shop today. What else can I show you? I don't know what else I can show you here. That's about it at the moment. The Ford pickup, or I should say the Mercury, the one of only, was it 6 or 7? I don't know, I'd have to look at the documentation again. The 67 Merc, crew cab short box, we've got it all apart. All the doors have been blasted, have all the rust repair done, finished, the cab's unbolted, the box is unbolted. It's just a matter of getting this thing off of here one day and going down and getting it all blasted, and then it's time to start on the rust repair on this. I think the first thing we'd do though is we would take the cab in first. We'll leave the box alone. I don't have a lot of storage here, so the box can just sit outside in the rain and the weather, because who gives a shit? Because it's going to get blasted anyway and need work. The cab is where you always start, right? So we'll get the cab done, we'll get it all done, then we'll get the frame all blasted. The box will be our last concern. So that's what's happening with that. So there we go. Yeah, got some new signage up here today. Look at this. This is a local pub down the road from me. Duke's Pub. Thank you, come again. There you go. Got a lot of cool signage around this shop. I'm always putting stuff up. And yes, the 7-Up cooler works. There you go. Camels. You need your handy pocket comb. You need a Pepsi Cola. You got it. There you go. Now don't forget, all you guys that are out there watching, all you new subscribers, let me get this thing off of here. Let me get this box of shit off of here. We have t-shirts. We have all sorts of t-shirts. They're not looking good through this glass case, but we have all sorts of t-shirts. We have decals. We have it all. We even have beer cozies to keep your beer cold, because summer is here. Summer's here. Let's make sure I got enough beer in the fridge. Better make sure we got enough beer in the fridge for the summer. Oh boy. We got some ciders, we got some beer, we got some stuff. Oh yeah, we got this thing here all full of beer too. That's right. When you come to OTG, you can get a beer for just a loonie. Anyway, remember, it's always a good time at Old Time. Look my website up if you're a new subscriber. What is it? Oldtimegarage.ca, I think it is, something like that. You'll find me. And you can buy all sorts of shit on there. Okay, I'm here. I'm alive, guys. There'll be more videos, I promise.